Hi guys, Coach Carter. Hope you're having a great summer. We're putting this video together to kind of help us for the future. Last year, Dr. Reinlie came in and did some evaluations of us and has some information he's going to share with you and your families to kind of see where we were, kind of see where we progressed to. You came to me, talking to me during our end of the year surveys and conversations, as well as the survey for Dr. Reinlie you did at the end of the first semester, that it wasn't challenging enough what we've been doing, especially on the weight room side of things and on making ourselves more better athletes. So we want to become the best athletes. We want to be the best, and we want to evolve our training in that direction. In order to do so, we have got to be in a position to be physically capable of doing these things. The reason Dr. Reinlie came to me with this is he wants us to be able to move better. He wants us to be able to train better. And we want to, most importantly, prevent injury. Injury is a big deal, and if you're injured, you don't perform well, and we want to keep those things from happening. Whatever we can do to make our bodies become better athletes without becoming injured is the direction we want to go, and we're trying to direct our program in that direction. And Dr. Reinlie is going to give us some information, show us some statistics from last year's results, and kind of show the direction we're going to move to. So I'm going to let him take over, let him talk a little bit, explain some things, and we want you to share this with your families, because we're going to ask you to do some things before we come back for school. So over to you.
Thank you, Coach. I just want to say thank you again for letting me be involved in this, and for you guys to allow me to be a part of y'all's training. We're going to have a meeting here hopefully in the next month discussing some of the highs and lows of this, and we just wanted to give you a tidbit of what's coming your way. When Coach and I met a few weeks ago talking about how to improve the program, what can we do this year, how can we evolve, how can we get better, the big thing was let's challenge these guys, let's make them better athletes, and how can we do that in a safe manner. What we have found, and you're going to have some data that's going to come with this email that I want you guys to all take a quick glance at, is the guys that typically move better not only perform better, but they also seem to stay healthy. I don't think a lot of this data is coincidence. I think it speaks volumes about the type of athlete you want to be. What you're going to hear me say a lot probably is square peg, round hole. We don't want to be trying to jam that stuff together. We want round hole, round peg, or square peg, square hole, however you want to say it. We want guys to go into the gym and deadlift and be able to be competent enough to get into that position and not have a physical limitation like a tight hamstring or a tight hip get them from doing that safely and repetitively to get the training effect. We want guys to swing kettlebells. We want guys to press weight overhead. We want guys to hang from the pull-up bar. We want you to do it in a safe manner, because you only get 45 minutes, and it's fast and it's furious, and there's generally just one guy there, and I get to help out a little bit here and there, but we want to do it in a fashion that he can show up and coach can coach you guys to become animals, and you don't have to worry about, man, is today the day that I'm going to tweak my back again. So what you're going to see, and we're going to go through some of this stuff, is last fall we had 40 guys get tested, and it's okay, we'll send it out to them. 40 guys get tested, and the maroon here, guys, is going to be post-fall testing, so the changes that we had. The gray is going to be pre-fall, what we came into class with. And what we have found of the 40 guys and the 4 movement patterns that we tested, we only had 14 guys that could pass all of them. And these aren't Cirque du Soleil moves, these aren't crazy things, these are simple things like, can you squat without major compensation? Can you bend forward and touch your toes and also push your hips backwards to load them? Can you do a push-up? Can you twist left and twist right, because we played baseball and have to rotate? Just simple things like that. And 14 of the guys could do that. We had guys could only pass 3 of the 4 movements, and what we saw was that number was about 9. And then by the end of the fall, we saw about 16. So we saw a big change there. And then you can see the other data there. There's 1 to 2 movements. That was a big one at the beginning of the fall, where we had 16 guys that can only pass 1 or 2 of those movements. And by the end of the fall, it was only 9. So I think that speaks volume about some of the hard work y'all are putting in with working on your technique, training, doing some of your stretching drills that we prescribed, some of the foam rolling, some of the other drills that we worked on. So I think that's a home run for you guys last year. What we also saw here in this big mess of words is a correlation between guys that move the best and their performance outcomes. Whether it's an exercise or a performance test that coach likes, like a max deadlift or running to first base, a 30-yard sprint time, or some of these other things that are supported through research that Major League Baseball has done with a lateral jump and how far you can jump and how that correlates to slugging percentage. What we have found is when you look at this chart, the guys that passed all the movements, every single one of these numbers was better than the previous or the following movement patterns. So if you only passed 3 or 4, you had second best scores on average, okay? And the guys that only passed 1 or 2 had the worst scores on average. And I don't think those are anomalies. It's every test. These weren't cherry picked just to make the testing look good. This stuff is what guys do at like P3 Performance, which is where all the Seattle Mariners train. These are things that are done all over the world, and we want you guys to have that at your fingertips too. You're going to see some other things in here about the number of guys that come in pain, number of guys that left, injuries that occurred during the fall. Just take a quick glance at that. When we have our opportunity to meet here in the next month, we're going to talk more about those things. But I think in a nutshell, what we want to do is make sure that you guys are ready to go day one. You're athlete conditioned, your movement is where it should be or close, and then you have some capacity to train. Similar to you have a school supply list and you're supposed to show up to English class with a composition book and pencils and paper. You're supposed to show up to algebra with a calculator. Well, you should show up to Coach Carter's baseball program ready to move and ready to go. And that's what I'm going to try to help you guys with.
So, that being said, what we're going to try to do is we want you to look through this information, share it with your parents, have an idea of when we're going to put together a Booster Club meeting, have Dr. Reinlie come in, have your parents be able to ask some questions during that Booster Club meeting. Our big deal is we want to prevent injury. We want to make great athletes. We want to become better baseball players. And in order to do those things, we have got to be able to be ready to train in the right way. So take a look at this information. I'll be in touch with some more information down the road. Hope you're having a great summer. Email me, text me if you need anything, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.